Okay, we are live. Let's go ahead and grab a pup. Hi, Sampson. Hey, big guy. You want to come up first? Let's take your harness off. Oh, yeah. Come here, big guy. Oh, wait. Let's see what you weigh. Let's see what you're weighing. Okay. Stay. Stay. Nope. Hold still. Hold still. 57. 8. Okay. Come here. This way. This way. Up we go. Okay. We made it on the table. Whew. Samson's a little bit of a big guy. Just a little bit of a big guy. Okay. Welcome to the live stream. If you don't know me, my name is AJ. I've been a pet groomer for 15 years. I've actually been working with dogs since I was about 8 years old. I was baiting them in my mom's pet salon that she ran out of our house for some money. I wanted to make some money as a kid, and that's how I earned it. This is Sampson and Mini. These are the two dogs we're going to be working on today. Sampson is an Australian Shepherd. He gets shaved down. He gets really hot. Parents don't like the shedding, so they just get rid of it. And Mini is some sort of terrier Schnauzer mix. And she's going to be getting a haircut as well, getting shaved down even shorter with a little Schnauzer face. So I've worked with thousands of dogs, and I'm going to show you how I do these two dogs. And to get started, I'm going to go ahead and do his nails first. I'm actually going to bring this table up a little bit higher. Oh, I'm going to tighten this arm too. If I can bend over less while I'm cutting the nails, it feels better on my back. Good boy. Can I see this foot? Oh wait, let's get this going. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Now you'll have both cameras running. So, to cut his nails, I'm going to flip his foot upside down so that I can see the underside of the nail. That helps me identify how much I can cut for the very first cut. And then once I have made that, I can then see the blood, or not the blood supply, but I can see the pulp. And the pulp helps me determine how close to the blood supply I am. Pulp is a white, flaky substance when you're far away from the blood supply, and when you get closer to it, it starts to get this dark, moist circle right in the center of it. Once I can see that dark, moist circle, I am done cutting. So I've got this first nail almost there. You can see the circle now, but it's still just a little bit dry. I'm going to take one more cut. See if I can actually get it to cut. There we go. There's still a little more. Hang on, Sampson. I know, good guy. I know. There we go. And now that nail's done. Move on to the next one. I was able to cut a lot off of that first nail, so I'm going to take a couple bigger cuts in the beginning. Hang on, buddy. Hold still. Let me see. Let me see. Come here. Oh, darn it. Shouldn't have taken bigger cuts because I went a little too short. That's what I get for thinking I can take shortcuts. Something that I usually teach is to only make half cuts on the nails, because when you do, it's easier to tell how close you're getting, and then it's easier to tell when you're when you go too far, it doesn't make them bleed as much. I screwed it up. Sorry, Sampson. I'm sorry, bud. Okay, so back to basics. Get this next nail going, and I'm just gonna do what I usually do, which is just make small cuts. Usually about, I only cut through about half of the nail each time. Instead of having my nail clippers around the entire nail and cutting one whole sliver off, that would basically make a circle out of the nail. I cut off half, so it makes a crescent moon shape. And that helps me from making them bleed like I did on that second nail. Unfortunately, I thought I could skip steps. Alright, that first foot's done. Let's move on to the second. Good boy, Sampson. He's wanting to sit down a little bit, so he's putting a little bit of weight on my arm back here, but he's not wiggling too much other than that. Hang on. Wait. You're okay. It's okay, Sampson. Hold still, buddy. Hang on, bud. Now he's wiggling a bit. One more nail on this foot. We'll be all done. Okay. Pop himself loose. Hold still, big guy. Hold still. Right. I know. Okay. Hold still. Wait. Wait. Come here, Sampson. Don't be a wiggle worm. Let me do this. Hang on, buddy. Hang on. Hold still. Let's see if I can do it while he's sitting. He does not want to stand for me. He's doing somewhat better. Sampson, you know, really work. Hold still. No, hold still. You're okay. Come here. Stay. Stop. Nope. Stay. Sampson, come on. We're almost done, buddy. Just double checking these nails that I did upside down. I need to take a little bit more off of them. Samson's not wanting me to do it though. Okay, there we go. All right, one last foot. Oh boy, that one hit me in the face. Okay, buddy. You did it. He does not have any dew claws, so we are all done with his nails. Next step that we're going to do is to shave the pads of his feet and his sanitary. So I put a number 10 blade on. Some groomers like to go shorter than a 10, but I prefer the 10, a little bit safer. And I'm going to shave all of the hairs that are growing between his main paw pad and his 4 toe pads. They grow on both sides, both the toe pad side and the paw pad side. And I just stay in this V-shaped crevice between the two of them until all the hair is shaved out. That one's all done. We'll just do the same thing with the other 3 feet. I have got some new camera mounts coming, and I'll be able to show you guys a little bit more detail on this step soon, but it'll probably be a couple weeks before I get that all up and running. I'm hoping to be able to show a close-up of the pads being done and the nails being done and some of the sanitary shaving. Okay, 3 feet down, one last one to go. All right, now I'm going to shave his belly and his sani. And what I'm doing is shaving all the hairs that are around his privates to prevent them from getting peed on, as well as the rest of his belly under here where the hair naturally thins. And into his groin, the groin of his leg, where the fur rubs on itself. It'll sometimes get tangled in those spots. And I want to just shave it out so that we can avoid that. All right, and then one last step is to shave his bum. I don't want any crusties that might be stuck on here to come back to the bath. If I do, I have to scrub them out by hand. But if I can shave them off, then I can avoid that. So, shave his bum. And now Sampson is ready for his bath. But before I turn on the back cameras and go back there with him, I'm going to put Mini on the table, and we're gonna get her rough-in done, and then bathe both of them and dry both of them at the same time, or one after the other. It's a little bit more accurate of how that's gonna go. So we're done with Sampson's rough-in. Let's go ahead and grab Mini. Come here, big guy. Let's go. Now, Mini will oftentimes do a little timid pee whenever I pick her up, so I'm expecting that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some paper towel and my cleaner, and I'm going to have them on hand. And then I'm going to try to pick up Mini right here. Good girl. Oh, sweet. I caught her and she didn't pee. That's a huge win. All right. Okay, so now I'll pop that up there. Slip the leash on Mini. Sampson, are you sad that your sister's up here? Silly boy. You're silly. You're silly. Okay, so we're going to do similar steps with Mini. I'm going to start with my nail clippers, and we will cut her nails. With Mini's nails, it's a little different. I'm going to flip them over the same, but I can see through her nail because she has clear nails, and I can get a general idea of where the blood supply is, which is a different way of knowing how far I can make the very first cut. But once the first cut is made, it's exactly the same in the sense that I am going to be looking at the pulp to see that dark, moist circle pop up in the center of it, and that's how I know that I'm done cutting. The pulp is a different color when the dog has clear nails. It's usually pink, and on a black nail, and sometimes on clear nails, they still have a black center, but it looks almost identical with just maybe that slight color variation. See? Good girl. And now Mini does have dew claws, so I'm going to make sure that I cut them as well. And the dew claws typically are longer and there's more to cut off than the rest of the nails because they don't wear down naturally. They don't rub against the concrete or the sidewalk or the dirt when they're running around. But sometimes they are short because the dogs like to chew on them, and then they'll be kind of broken. But the dogs can chew them up and keep them pretty short as well. Okay, now we'll get the back legs done. Hang on a minute. You're okay. Hold still. Good girl. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. See this foot? Good girl. Good job, Minnie. Keep holding still for me. Right there, she did what a lot of dogs do when you're working on their back legs, and she tried to kick to get her leg free, almost hit me in the face. And she did it there again, just a little kick, not too hard. I'm actually gonna have to lift up underneath her belly and then pick up her leg to support her weight. She's putting her weight down on me, it's getting a little hard. But oftentimes when dogs do that kick, if they get their leg free, they'll kick really hard. And my face would have been right in the way, so she would have just nailed me right in the face with the hair and chunks of nail and just all over my face, my cheek or my eye or wherever. It feels like getting popped pretty good when they do get you. I've had my nail clippers knocked out of my hand. I've had my shaving clipper knocked out of my hand, and I actually broke a blade once when that happened. So I tried to hang on to the dog's feet pretty good, and I caught her foot there, luckily, but that is something that happens. Good girl. Thanks for letting me get that nail. Almost there. Almost there. Girl. Okay. We did it. Now we're all done cutting the nails. We can start shaving all of the areas with the number 10 blade. So one area that Mini is going to be a little different than Sampson is I'm going to shave out the corner of her eyes. Actually, I'm going to shave all of her cheek and under her eyes because she gets what we call a pet face, which is when the eyebrows are shaved and separated. There's a portion of the face that's shaved to separate the eyebrows from the beard, and then the cheek gets shaved as well. And her whole body is going to be shaved with this number 10, so I'm not worried about how far down her neck I'm shaving it, but if I was doing her body in a longer length, then I would only shave down about to here. Wouldn't shave too much further than that. Under the eyes, nice and short, into the corner. Get out all the eye goobers. And then down the cheek. And now I'm going to shave the inside of her ears. Because the outside is going to be shaved completely, I will end up shaving the entire inside of her ear. So all the way to the edge of the leather, all the way around. And then I'm going to go against the hair on the inside near the opening of her ear canal, or around the surface of the ear canal. I want that to be shaved as short as possible, so that during the next step, which is ear plucking, I don't have long hairs on the surface of the ear, and I won't accidentally pluck any of the hairs that are growing on the outside of the ear that I could have shaved. Now I'll shave against the hair around the surface of the ear canal. Now that that's done, I'll grab my hemostats and I will pluck out the hairs that are growing inside of the ear canal. I pluck these hairs so that as much light and air can get down into her ear canal, and that will help prevent yeast from growing and causing a yeast infection in her ear. but it's a little bit uncomfortable because I'm actually plucking the hairs from the skin versus there's no discomfort to shaving the hairs. So that's where I want to shave as many of the hairs as I can. That way I can pluck less of them, at least the ones that are on the outside that don't need to be plucked. I can make sure that I don't accidentally pluck them. Now I'll go to this other ear and I will pluck it as well. Say. Okay. Now the inside of her ears are all done being plucked. Next step that I'm going to do is to shave the pads of her feet. Come here. Come here. Come here, Minnie. Come over here. And to shave the pads, I'm going to flip her foot upside down. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with Sampson, which is to only shave the hairs that are growing between the main paw pad and the 4 toe pads. All the hairs in that little V-shaped crevice or that V-shaped pocket in the foot, I'm going to get all of those hairs shaved out and not accidentally shave between the toe pads themselves. Anything that's growing above the pads can get shaved, but I'm not going to go in between the toe pads themselves. That foot's all done. We'll just repeat the process for the other 3 feet. And she was acting a little reluctant to let me shave, so I checked my blade temperature to make sure it wasn't hot. Sometimes if it gets hot, they'll start acting reluctant to let you do what you're doing because you're making them uncomfortable. But that's not the problem here. So my guess is it's the same thing as earlier when she started kicking when I was cutting her nails, and she just doesn't want her back feet messed with. Blade's still good. We'll keep going. Still good on temperature specifically. Wait. Hang on a minute. Left foot. Good girl. Stay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and change the blade. It's not hot, but it's a little warm. And the next area that I'm going to do is the sanitary. And the skin is very sensitive down here in the sanitary. So I'm going to lift up her leg. I'm going to shave this whole area of her belly where the hair is thinning. And then all the way down into the pocket of the groin of her legs. And then around her privates as well, to make sure that there's no hair that's going to get peed on when she goes to the bathroom. Okay? Wait. I'll come from the other side. Get these shaved as well. Okay. Last step, going to be to shave her bum. Lift up her tail. Shave off any crusties that might be stuck on there. I don't want to have to scrub them off if I don't have to. Okay. Okay. Now our bum's all shaved. So we are all done with the rough end on both of these dogs. We're now going to head back to the bathing room and we will bathe both of them and then dry both of them. So give me just a few minutes to get that back camera turned on and then we'll start bathing. Come on. Trying to trick Minnie into coming out. She didn't want to. So let's turn this off. Come on, Minnie. Let's go. Let's go. You want to go up front? There we go. I tricked her, but she did pee. So let me wipe this up real quick. Stay here, Minnie. I got you, baby. And I forgot to weigh her. I forgot to write down Sampson's weight as well. Okay, hang on, big girl. Stay. 32.6. Okay. Let's go ahead and head on in back. Just gonna write down their weights real quick. Okay. All right, so now that we're here in the bathing room, I have this high pressure bathing system that mixes the shampoo for me, but it requires high pressure in order to do that. So I have to have this, this nozzle turned on all the way in order for it to mix the soap for me, and I don't want that high pressure water to go on her face. So I will wash her body and legs with the high pressure system, and then I will wash her face by hand. Before I do that, I'm going to warm up the water. Turn on the bathing system. And then I'm gonna express her anal glands. Now this is an external anal gland expression. So I'm just reaching below her bum, finding the glands, lifting them, and pulling them out towards her back end, and then just applying a little bit of pressure until she expresses them on her own. One side expressed, the other side still hasn't released yet, so I'm going to try a slightly different position on my grip. Her glands are very full. Hang on, Minnie. She's not liking it. Come here, baby. It's okay. I know, Minnie. Let me get it. Stay. I'm just trying to apply the pressure and then hold it so that she can express them without me having to force it. There we go. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so her glands were very full, but they did express. So I'm going to tell her owner that because they were so full, they might be a little irritated, and she might be scooting her butt over the next couple days, which is pretty typical when they're really full. They'll sometimes be a little irritated from expressing them. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and wash her body and legs. Sit down. Okay, her body is washed. Go ahead and turn the bathing system off. Get the soap out of the line. Turn the water pressure nice and low. And I'll get her head wet with this low pressure. As I'm getting her head wet, I'm going to try to avoid getting any water in her ears and her nose. Stay. Come here, Mick. It's okay. I know. Wait. Good girl. She's being a little wiggly. I'll have to work a little bit slower. Hang on. Pausing when she is wiggly, and then once she's holding still, then I continue moving. Good girl. Now I'm going to start applying soap to her head. Come here. Okay, now that we are done washing her face, I'm going to turn the water pressure down again, rinse out her eyes. Just in case a little bit of soap got in there, we're going to make sure that it doesn't stay in there. And I'm going to rinse around her mouth so that when she licks, she doesn't lick any soap in. And now I can rinse off the top of her head. I'll pin the ears down on one side to rinse over that side of the ear. And then do the same thing on the other side. Come here, baby. Being a little wiggly. Anytime I'm rinsing a dog's ears and they show signs that they want to shake, I let them. There's a chance that they just want to shake their head because their head is wet. But there's also a chance that I might have gotten water inside of their ears, and if I let them shake, they can get it out. And if I don't let them shake, it might get trapped in there and cause ear infection type of problem. Okay, now that the head's all done, I'm going to rinse off her body with higher pressure water, starting under the leash to make sure that no soap gets trapped under the leash. Come here, baby. Hold still. Hold still. Good girl. I know. I know. Okay, now that she's all rinsed off, I'm going to squeeze out all the excess water, and as I'm doing it, I'm checking for any soap that's left on her body. If I feel anything slippery or sudsy, I'll check my hand for any bubbles, and if I see bubbles, I'll rinse off that spot again. Good shake. Get that water off. Okay, she feels good. I don't feel any more soap. I'm going to grab a towel. Nope, stay. Hang on, Minnie. I'm going to take her out of the tub, put her up here for just a second while I towel dry her. Good girl. Now, towel drying is a super important step. It gets off a lot of water very quickly, but it is limited on how much water it can actually get off. If the towel gets soaked, then it will stop absorbing, and there's a point where even a dry towel will no longer absorb any more water off of a dog. And at that point, I either use the drying kennels or these blow dryers to finish getting the dog dry. Good good shake. I love it when they want to shake because it helps get more of the water off. Stay here. Stay here. She's getting a little close to the edge and she's not tied up, so I'm being a little extra cautious. I'm holding her body close to mine to make sure that if she does have any ideas of jumping off, that I have a good hold of her. Okay. Now she is all done being towel dried. I'm going to bring her over here, put her in a drying kennel, and bathe Sampson. There, girl. Sampson? Here we go. There we are. Now we're in it. Alright. Get Sampson attached to the leash. Okay, good job, buddy. Woo! Sampson's a heavy boy. Just under 60 pounds. Okay, so very similar process. Gonna wash his body. Sampson is not gonna get his anal glands done though. But I'll wash his body after the bathing system, and then I'll wash his face by hand. See if I can get it to turn around. Spin. Spin. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Stay. Okay. Turn the bathing system off. And let's get his head wet. Nice low water pressure. Pin his ears down, try to avoid getting water in there. And avoiding the water rolling over his nose. Okay, now that his head's wet, start applying the shampoo. Scrub his head until it all lathers in real nice. And if any part doesn't lather, I'll just add more soap until it does, because that's how I know that it's actually clean. He's starting to lick his lips, and I've got soap on his lips, so I'm going to try to hold his mouth closed to prevent him from licking in that soap. Okay, now I'm going to rinse off his mouth. Again, same reason, so that I can let go and not have him licking in the soap. Wait. Good boy. Did you notice that as soon as I let go, he starts licking his lips? That's what always happens, so that's oftentimes why I rinse the mouth first, just to avoid that. Now I'm going to rinse out his eyes. I don't think I got any soap in there. But just in case, I'm going to rinse them out really good to make sure that there's no soap in there when I'm done. Now I'll go for the top of his head, pinning down one ear and rinsing down that side so that the water can go over his ear and not get inside of it. And then same thing on the other side. And I've got under the leash, all rinsed off real good. Now I'm going to get the rest of his body rinsed off. Okay, we're done rinsing. Go ahead and squeeze out the excess water and check for any more soap that might be left on his body. Okay, we're good to go. Let's grab a towel. Start drying him off. Trying to get off as much of the water as I can right now. Then it'll dry faster in the cage bank, the drying kennel, as well as on the blow dryer. Okay. Alright, buddy. Good shake. You stay. Now before I put him in the kennel, I'm going to go ahead and take cotton balls and put them in his ears for some cotton ball earplugs. Stay. And I'll grab Minnie, put her on this table. Looks good on the leash. Do the same thing for her. Except for her, I'll tear the cotton ball in half. They're a little bit smaller ears. Okay, you stay, Minnie. Now I'm going to put Sampson in that same kennel. Let's go here. Good girl. Okay, baby. For this next step, we're going to be blow drying, and the blow dryers are very loud. So I like to put in these headphones to give myself a little bit of hearing protection, but more importantly, entertainment in the form of music or podcasts. And this used to be my primary source of hearing protection, but I have since gotten these earmuffs, and these help a ton. She already has her earplugs, so I'll just go ahead and describe what I'm going to do with the blow dryer. I will be using it on high over her body, legs, and tail, but then I will put it on low for her face. In the same way that I don't want high velocity water in her eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, I don't want high velocity air in those same areas. So I'll put it on low, but even on low, if I want to hold the dryer close to her head, I need her to be holding still. If I'm not confident, hey. If I'm not confident that she'll hold still during the blow dryer, I'll have the dryer further away to make sure that high velocity air does not get in any of these areas on her face. Hey, calm down, buddy. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We'll get her dry and then we'll pull Sampson out and we'll do the same thing. Mini's all done. Sampson's in there crying, so we gotta get him out and get him dry. Okay, so because Sampson is a little bit bigger, I'm going to use both dryers on his body. And then I'll turn this one off, put this one on low, and then I'll do his face on low. In the same manner, I'll have it up close if he's holding still, and I'll have it farther away if he's wiggling. Okay, we are all done with bathing and blow drying. You did pretty good. Both of them were pretty good for the drying. So let's head back up front and we'll start doing their haircuts. Let's go. Have a sip of some coffee. Yeah, quick bite of the protein bar too. If anyone's wondering what kind of protein bar I'm eating, this is it right here. It's delicious. Chocolate salted caramel by Pure Protein. That's a free plug for Pure Protein. I really like some of their protein bars. Okay. All right, game time. Come here, Sampson. Come here, buddy. Up. Come here. Up we go. Here we go. Sampson smells my protein bar. Okay, on Sampson, I am shaving him with the number 7 everywhere except for his ears. They like him to have these little tufts on his ears, so it kind of looks like he has little pig ears, and everything else will be shaved. So I'm going to start on his face, top of his head, under his neck. I'm not going to shave his muzzle. I don't want to shave his whiskers. Okay, I'll grab my brush. Important step is that I back brush everywhere that I shave to lift the hair up and make sure that it all gets cut evenly. Okay. Alright, his neck's all done. I can tighten his leash back up. And then I can continue to shave the rest of his back and legs. Something that happens when you shave a dog with the direction of the hair, the goal is to get it all the same length, and you have to follow the direction of the hair in order to achieve that. And there's a spot on the chest right here where the dog's hair naturally changes directions. And instead of going down like it does right here, it comes back up. And inevitably the clipper catches those hairs and cuts them much shorter than the clipper gets it when it's going with the direction of the hair. So there's a few spots on the dog's body where it's inevitable that the hair is going to get shaved a little bit shorter whenever you try to shave with the direction of the hair. And the answer that some people come up with is, well, I'll just shave all of the dog's hair in the opposite direction. That way it's even. And that can work, but it actually takes a little bit longer to get it smooth. And sometimes these little spots just aren't that big of a deal. So most groomers will go the direction of the hair while they're shaving, but there's another group that kind of in the show world, show groomers will do all sorts of crazy stuff to get exactly the look that they're looking for on each different breed, each different coat type. And they'll go against the hair in some spots, with the hair in others, long blades here, shorter blades there. And they do whatever it takes to create a very unique, special look that each breed is supposed to have. That is not what I'm doing here. This here is pet grooming. I only groom people's pets. And I try to get the hair to be all the same length, but there are a couple spots where it doesn't inevitably end up being a little bit shorter. Kind of just a fun fact. Okay, now his leg is almost done, so I'm going to lift it up and just make sure that I get all of his leg shaved. There's a lot of hair on the table, and it's easy to miss that the foot isn't shaved when you can't see the foot and all the hair that's sitting on the table. Okay. Front right leg is all done being shaped. Let's keep moving. Good boy. Perfect. Stand right there. There we go. When I'm shaving the legs, I back brush and I shave each side of the leg. So the inside, the outside, and the front, and the back. I forgot about one of them when I was first saying it. There's a couple areas that you have to be a little bit more aware of. There's a pocket right here where the tendon comes off of the back of the leg. And in order to get it shaped smooth, you want to push into that little pocket so that the skin gets stretched out. You can shave it from the other side. The inside of the leg is a little difficult to get. I like to lift up the opposite leg after back brushing to get the inside of the leg smooth. And the front of the leg can also be a little difficult because you have to do the front and a little bit of the inside at the same time in order to get the front of the leg to look smooth. Now coming down to the foot, back brush the front, the inside, and the outside from this position. Shave all three of them. Come to the back. Back brush and shave the back. Come to the inside from the back catch a little bit more. Now this leg's looking pretty close. And the rest will be done with scissoring. So I'm going to come up to his tail now. Actually, I'm going to check the temperature. It's okay, but I've got other blades that are nice and cold. I'll go ahead and use them. Back brush around his tail. Shave over his tail. Around it. Stretch the skin. Shave underneath it. You have to be a little careful of these docked tails. I one time was shaving around it just like this, and the tail that I was working on had a tiny flap of skin that was a pointy little thing like the size of a pencil head, and it was actually skin that had healed a little funny from having his tail docked. And so now I always check, and every once in a while I'll find a dog that has a little chunk of skin that can get right between these teeth and get nicked. And you just want to be careful of that. Okay, now the tail's a little uneven, so I'm going to back brush it. Go over it a couple times. Okay, tail and his bum look good. Now I'm going to come over to his left side and start getting his back and his legs done on this side. Up. Up. Down. Good boy. Sit. Nope, don't sit. Sampson's trying to sit down, and the way that they do that is they first put their feet forward, and then they sit down. So when I see him put his feet somewhere about up here, that's the warning sign that I know that he's about to try to sit. So I try at that point to ask him to stand up, put my hand under his belly, apply just a teeny bit of pressure, lifting up. And that's usually enough to prevent him from sitting all the way down. Sit. Okay, blade's getting a little warm. Go ahead and pop on another nice cold 7. I'm going to lift this leg up, try to get the inside.
those fluffy ears.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second. How about that? Neighbor came in. They're having a big event. There's a brewery next door, and they're having like a concert here. So if you're in South Salt Lake and you want to see a free concert and have some beer for the holiday coming up, the Utah exclusive holiday. If you live outside of Utah, then you won't know what this is, but we have a holiday called Pioneer Day. When the pioneers, the Mormon pioneers originally came to Utah, founded this city, Salt Lake City, and decided to make their homes here. It's a celebration of that, and we always light off fireworks. And the people that are not part of the LDS Church or the Mormons, they call it Pie and Beer Day. And I believe that's what the brewery next door is hosting an event for. So, yeah, Chapel Brewing is the name, and they're having it on Thursday the 24th. They're having shutting down the whole parking lot in this complex and having a little concert. So, if you're in the area, check it out. I don't know the times. I don't know how to get you the information either. Okay, we are getting close to finishing the shaving on Sampson here. I'm going to get his armpit a little bit better. Make sure I come down his leg. Excuse me. Okay, I think we're done shaving. So now, the next step that I'm going to do is to trim up his feet, legs, and then I'll work my way up and trim up his ears. So let's grab my scissors, and I will need this brush. I'm going to get all the hair off my table. So I need to be able to see the feet. Up, up. Oh boy. Okay, so to trim his feet, first thing I'm going to do is stand him up. And I'm going to flip his foot upside down and back brush all the hairs and trim all the hairs that are growing past the pads of his feet. Stay. You're okay, big guy. Come on. Okay, and so after the bottom of the feet's done, I lift the foot up and I back brush and I round the outside and the top of his foot. And then I come up the leg to see if there's any long hairs. Looks like his leg's pretty good. couple on the inside. Okay, I'll come over to his other back leg. And then back brush and around the top of the foot, the top and the outside. Stay. Right now, I am coming to the bottom side of the foot and I'm trimming all the hairs that are falling underneath the nail. Those have a tendency to stick out and look a little funny. And now that I got them trimmed, it looks much better. Now I'll do a back brush on his leg. Spot right here. Spot in his flank. A little bit on the inside. All right, now that leg looks good. Oh, I can see a couple spots. Now that he's sitting, a couple hairs just poked out. One was Sammy. Now it looks good. Okay, I'm gonna move up to the front legs and repeat the same process. Brush everything to the bottom. Trim all the hairs that are growing past his pads. I'm gonna not wait to do this step where I pull the hairs that are below. What the heck is that? He's got a growth on his toe. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. Go ahead and take a picture. Kind of reminds me of like a little cyst. It's round and smooth, kind of hard. I'll take a picture of it, send it to the owner. Probably nothing to be too concerned about. It's a little thing, but it should be watched. If it gets bigger or if it starts changing shapes, then that could mean that there's a problem. Okay, was I done with the foot? I don't think I got the bottom done. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to finish at the bottom, pulling up all the hair underneath the toes, trimming it nice and tight under the toes. And then I'll come to the top and back brush, and I will round the outside and the top of his feet. Okay. Now let's check this leg, see if there's any long hairs. bit on the inside, a little bit on the front. Looks like there's a little bit in the armpit. Tiny bit on the back. I'm going to grab his armpit. I'm going to pinch and roll the skin in the armpit to try to expose the long hairs in here. And now it's looking good. Okay, last foot. Repeat. Same process. Back brush everything on the bottom. Trim everything that comes past the pads. Pull up and trim the hairs that are growing underneath the toes. Now I'll flip the foot over, back brush, and around the top. Okay. Now I'll come up the leg. Foot's all done. Don't see anything on the outside. Tiny bit on the front. Looks like there's a bit on the inside. And then the armpit. Do the same thing. Pinch the hair, roll it around to get the long hairs to poke out. Okay. And with that, his legs are all done. Sweet. Okay, now I can move up to his ears. Brush them out first. Make sure there's no tangles. And then I will pull out the cotton balls. A little dirty on the right side. A little dirty on the left side. Okay, now I'm going to trim up his ears. Where they stick out and look like little pig ears. Okay, I like how the right side looks, and now I'm just going to trim up the left side to match it. Hey, Sampson. Are we done? Okay. I think we're done. Alrighty. Okay. Try to get a picture of Sampson. 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 Hey, buddy. Cute. Okay. So that is the end of Sampson's haircut. Next, we're going to do Mini's. Oh, shoot. I forgot to clean his ears. Just kidding. Oh, pick it back up. Hang on, buddy. Gotta clean his ears. An important step. Stick. Alright. Take a couple new cotton balls. Fill them full of ear cleaner. Not too much. I'm going to squeeze out the excess. I don't want it dripping down into his ears, although some ear cleaners recommend that. I avoid it because I never know if a dog has a ruptured eardrum or any issues like that. And these cleansing products would not be good to get inside the inner ear. Some of them use alcohol. This one's a little bit more mild. It uses witch hazel, but witch hazel should not be on the inner ear. The ears are a little dirty. Yeah, I'm going to use a cotton ball, or a Q-tip in that one to finish it off. Most of it's clean, but there's a little bit in the crevices of his ears. This cotton ball is a little too big to get in it, so I'll use a Q-tip to finish up the last couple spots. This ear looks like it's about the same. Pretty clean. Got a couple spots, but I'll use a Q-tip. Okay. Okay, all done. We're done for real this time. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. All right. Oh, darn it. I almost picked Minnie up without her peeing. And then I didn't quite have a good enough grip. I had to reposition and then she peed. So close. Clean this up real quick. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and take the cotton balls out of Minnie's ears. They're pretty clean, so I will reuse them to clean her ears once we get to that point. I'm gonna have another sip of coffee real quick. Okay. Now Minnie is getting shaved the number 10 all over her body. So I'll pop the 10 on, and we're going to start at the front of her face, just above her eyebrows. And I'm shaving over her ear right now, shaving the inside, the outside, always making sure that I'm shaving towards the edge of the ear and never into the edge of the ear. If I shave into the edge of the ear, it makes it possible for the skin to get between these teeth and touch the cutting blade and actually nick her ear. Now her face is nice and short everywhere except for the beard. Trying to clean up these lines a little bit. Let's go. Stay. Stay. Close. All right, let's get her other ear shaved. Okay, ear's good and shaved. Now I'm gonna remove the leash and shave all around her neck. She's walking towards the edge the second that the leash comes loose, so I'm actually gonna keep it around her shoulders and chest, just not right on her neck itself. And then I will back brush for this section. First I shave. Sit. Sit, Minnie. Sit. Good girl. Then I back brush, and then I shave again. So first I shave, then I back brush, and then I shave again. The reason I do it that order is because I want to get off the majority of the hair for the first shave, and then I'm back brushing to catch all the little hairs that got missed and make sure that they stand up as tall as the rest of the hairs, and then I can shave over it again to get it finished. And then I repeat that process all the way around her neck. Sit. Okay, the neck looks good. I'm going to put the leash back up. And now I can shave the rest of her body. Now number 10 blades heat up a lot faster than other blades. So with just that amount of work I've done, I'm already going to check the temperature. Not sure what happened, but the stream cut out for a second. Apologize about that. So if you were watching earlier, I mentioned that the hair grows in different directions on different parts of the body. And one of the spots that's almost impossible to continue to shave with the hair because it makes a complete 180 is right here on the chest. And let's see, I'm not sure if you can see it from the camera, but right here, it is where you can see there's this kind of like a mountain ridge of all the hair where it changes directions and it starts going up, where it was coming down before. And the number 10 cuts those hairs a lot shorter. Any blade cuts the hair shorter when it starts growing the opposite direction. So that's a good example of what it looks like when the direction of the hair changes on a dog. A couple of other areas that happens is the side of the leg right here, on the butt area in the dog's, just below their bum, as well as on the belly it happens. So all those areas, the hair will change directions, and when you're shaving, it will all of a sudden start taking it shorter. Okay. Blade's starting to get a little warm, but I've got a little bit longer before I'm concerned with the temperature on it. Stay. Stay. Wait. Wait. Okay. I'll go ahead and change my blade, and we'll start shaving her legs. I'm going to raise the table up just a little bit. Ask her to stand up. And now we'll start shaving her legs. Stay. Stay.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. I brought you some junk mail.
Sweet. Thank
You
you.
know, the important things.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it wasn't for junk mail, you would never see me.
Yeah.
So keep it coming.
Alright, take care.
I'll see you tomorrow.
That was the mailman. Definitely the coolest, friendliest mailman I've ever had. He always says hi. Always cheerful and chipper. Hang on. You stay up. No. Stay up. Stay. Oh. Stay. Come on. Stay. You're okay, Minnie. Hold still. No, you gotta hold still. No, hold still. Good girl. Wait. I'm. Okay. This leg looks good. We can go ahead and move on to the next one. Everything else will get finished by scissoring on that leg. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Oh, it's still a good girl. Mini's being pretty wiggly for this part. She would much rather not have her leg shaved. But we're getting through it. I'm using different techniques, like the leg lock and holding on to like the bottom of her foot, lifting the foot out. I'm also rolling the skin around her leg in order to access different parts. And with all those techniques, we are getting her leg done slowly but surely. Okay, sorry about that. The stream keeps going out. I don't know if I'm having internet connection issues or what, but so I'm now working on this front right leg, and this is the last leg that needs to be shaved. And right here on the outside is another example of what it looks like when the hair grows the opposite direction. Yeah, man. Hold still, Mini. Stay. No. Don't do that. So right here on the outside, this hair all grows up, and the rest of it's kind of going this way or down. And so it takes that spot really short when I shaved over it with my 10. Stay. Stay. Wait. little wiggle worm. Okay, there's a little bit more at the top of her leg and in her armpit. Catch that now. And a tip for shaving the armpit, if I want to shave the armpit, I will either pull the leg forward and have my blade directly against the leg, shaving towards that armpit, or I will have her leg pushed all the way back, and I will have my blade against her belly, shaving everything that I can get in the armpit from the belly side. Then I pull the leg forward and catch these last few hairs from here, and then anything that didn't get shaved from those spots will be scissored at the end. Okay. All right. One last spot on this foot. Okay, and with that, I am done shaving her body, and I can start trimming her feet. Grab my brush and my scissors, and I'll start on the bottom of her feet, back brushing everything and trimming all the hairs that grow past the pads. Stay. Hold still, me. I'm having to hold her foot pretty tight because she keeps kicking, and I don't want to accidentally cut her foot. Stay. Then I'll come to the top of the foot, and I'll back brush and round the outside and the top. looks good. Now I'll back brush up the leg, see if there's any long hairs. Yeah, you give me kisses. A little bit on the heel. A little bit on the inside. Top looks good. See a tiny bit, the inside right by the flank. And that foot looks good to me. Now I'll move on. Did I ever do this foot? Looks like I did. Okay. Okay. Move on to the front leg. Stay. Stop. All right, put your foot down. Now back brushing the top and rounding the top and the outside of her foot. There's quite a few hairs that are sticking out longer, having to grab them individually in order to get them cut. Stay. Okay. I see a little bit on the inside near the dew claw. Come up the leg, tiny bit at the top. Other than that, the leg looks really good. Okay, let's get our last leg done. Now I'll look at the top. Stay. Some long hairs by the dew claw. Armpit looks good. Rest of the leg looks good. Okay. Now I'm gonna get her tail done. Her tail was matted last time around, and I had to shave most of it. So most of her tail is not gonna get touched, but the end where it's real fluffy, I'm gonna trim that down a little bit. Not gonna quite match the rest of her tail, but I'm going to get it closer. Actually, I think I'm just gonna match it today. And she'll just have a tight tail all the way down. It looks funny after I trimmed it. I didn't like it, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim it tighter, match it, and next time her tail will grow out and be all even. Okay, tail looks good. Now I'm going to come up to her face. I'm going to trim out the outside edge of her ears right to the leather. That way all the hair is the same length. It's nice and short all the way to the edge. Gives it a really clean look on the edge of the ear. Do the same thing on her other ear. Stay. Hold still, Mini. You're okay. Wait. Okay. Ears are all done, trimming wise. Now I can come up and do her eyebrows and her beard. So I'm going to grab my comb, my brush, and I'm going to brush it first to make sure that there's no tangles. Probably won't be in the eyebrows, but there might be some in her beard around her mouth. Couple little ones. Couple here as well. Brushed out super easy. Yeah. Not really any tangles, just a couple little things. I'm going to bring the table down just a little bit. And I'm going to start with her eyebrows, specifically the underside of her eyebrows or the diamond. So I'm going to lift the eyebrow up, pull up on all these hairs that are in the diamond, and then trim them. And it comes between her eyebrows, and the diamond separates the eyebrows. Can you? Hang. Okay. Diamond's looking pretty dang good. Couple more long hairs. And what this has done, it has completely separated the eyebrows from each other, as well as separating the eyebrows from the beard. Now what I'll do is take one eyebrow, comb it, And it's in a diagonal direction, not in front and not to the side, but diagonally between the two. And then I'll trim the eyebrow from about the middle of the bridge of the nose, and I'll round it to blend in perfectly with the side of her face right here. Okay, like how that's looking. Now let's do the same thing on the other side and try to match it. Stay. No, come here, Mini. Hold still. Hold still. Comb diagonally and trim from the middle of the nose. To blend in on the side of her face. Okay, they look pretty close, but the one eyebrow is a little bit longer in the front. Trim that up. There's also a few hairs. Come on, Minnie. Hold still. Wait. No. Stop. Come here. Hold still. No. Minnie. Stay. Stay. Jeez. She's getting a little wild. There's a couple hairs on her right eyebrow that are hanging in front of the whole eyebrow and kind of combining them into one thing. So I'm going to trim those nice and short to hopefully separate the eyebrows. Stop. She's being naughty. Every time I let go to get a look at her face, she starts acting up and start to pull away. So I'm just going to try to hang on to her face a little bit tighter. That way, not let her do that too much. Okay. Okay. I like her eyebrows. I think they look good. Teeny bit more on the underside over here. Same thing, underside over here. Actually, a little bit too much on top. This side. Stop. Stay. Okay. Now we can do her beard. I'm going to start at the front. Comb all the hairs that usually get licked into her mouth and trim them. And I'm trimming them right to the bottom of her top lip. So get all the hairs out of her mouth and then separate the top lip from the bottom. Trimming all those hairs. Stay. Hold still. Hold still. Now I'm going to comb all the hairs down. And she's getting a tight beard. So I'm going to take quite a bit off of the bottom of her beard, blend it in to her cheek. And I'll look at it from the top and blend it in this way. Stay. Calm it down. And now I'll match the other side. Bottom first. Then the outside. Now I'll pull the hairs forward. Trim them to that line that I set at the front lip. Nope. Stay. And then I'll start coming up, looking at it from the front, fluffing the sides up and trimming them. You can take a little bit more off the bottom. Okay, I'm getting close to finishing, so I'm going to go ahead and send a message to their owner. And stay. So she can start heading down. Come here. Hold still. Hold still. Now I'm going to finish tightening up this beard, making sure it's even. Stop. Mini. Come on. Stay. Yeah, I'm noticing Minnie will be a good girl and hold still if I have a hold of her, but the second I let go, she starts pulling away and trying to get her face away from me to get me to stop working on her. And that is her protesting, telling me she doesn't want to do this. And what I am doing in response is just continuing to hold on to her, and that's me being persistent and saying that I'm in charge and that we're going to keep doing this. See? Okay, super close. Just a little bit on top of her nose. Okay. I think she's about done. So what I'm going to do is clean her ears, and hopefully that will get her to shake her head one last time, and that will expose any hairs that I might have missed on her face, and then we can call her all done. Her ears were pretty dang clean. I was able to reuse these cotton balls that I stuck in her ears for the bath. So I'm not expecting to get much when I'm cleaning these ears. And that ear is just as expected. Not much at all. Let's check her left one to see if it's the same. Yep, very clean. Not getting hardly anything out. So with that, we got a good shake. Let's check her beard and her eyebrows, see if there's any spots that I missed. Stay. Oh, shoot. She wiggled. Stop. Hold still. And I took her eyebrow a little too short, unfortunately. So now I have to match the other side. Tighten up the eyebrows. Should have known. Shouldn't have been trimming it without holding on to her muzzle real good. Okay, so now I have to trim up this side to match. Okay. All right. Stay. Okay, and now we're done. See if I can get a picture of her real quick. Sit. Mini, sit. Sit. Hey. Oh. Stay. Wait. Mini. Sit. Stay. Hey. What's this? Sit. Stay. Come here. Hold still. Hold still. Stay. Stay. Oh my goodness. Stay there. What the heck? We got one photo. Sit. Mini. Sit. Sit. Stay. Stay. Oh my gosh. I can't get her to sit or hold still at all. So this picture is gonna be horrible. Sit. Stay. Nope, didn't work. Okay, sit. Let's see if I just hold your face. Hold still. Hold still. Stay. Stay. Mini. Mini. Oh my goodness. Wiggle worm. Wiggle worm. Hold still. Oh my gosh. I kind of got one photo that works. Not really. Oh well. Okay, that's the end of the stream. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. I'll be back again tomorrow with some more dogs. And until next time, peace.